Alright, it's been quite a while. So I found two abandoned 4-week-old kittens. I've been taking care of them. They require a lot of food and a lot of attention. I mean, a lot of kitten formula, I should say. So I'm not able to upload as much as I want because I would like to do twice a day, but everything going on gets a little difficult. But anyway, we're playing as Hannah now. Does not like Ashton or Isabella. Has she even met Ashton? I don't know. Really likes Luke. And is so-so with these people she's never met before. Journal. Father Norman, Zachary. I'm not sure if this is new, what I have now, but... while looking after a lost cat, Isabella met interior designer Marianne. She also happened to be the cat's owner. The two were having small talk before Isabella abruptly left. News broke of Rose Cooper being found dead in her flat the evening before. The authorities classified the crime as a homicide, possibly linked to Notorious and Slim Butcher, a mysterious serial killer who had committed brutal murders over the years and left their bodies with his signature phrase, "Help me." That is a really weird way to ask for help. October 24th, Isabella drowned herself with work the whole day to forget about the devastating news of her mentor's death. However, she ended up stumbling upon the mysterious disappearances of her other colleagues, and just when she realized something important, that was the end of her chapter. So I looked up to see how many chapters there are. Isabella's the first one. Next is Hannah. Then I think Zach, Rebecca, or was it Zach, Marianne, Rebecca? And then Ashton and Luke is the last one. So that's interesting. And also apparently very long. So that's why I wanted to do 2 uploads a day, because this game's supposed to be really long and F.E.A.R is really long. I looked at it, it has 23 chapters. And I think we're like 7 or 8 chapters in, so that's a bit of a thing. Okay, Hannah Wright Nee Evans. Birth date, April 30th, Taurus, 31 years old. I have no idea what it means, her being a Taurus. Height, 5'7". Occupation, heiress. Former finance manager. She was a finance manager, now she just inherits things. That's quite the occupation, just all you do is inherit things. Nationality, British. Religion, Anglican. I think I've ever met an Anglican. Education, Masters in Business Administration. Major in Accounting. Likes, I have no idea what that is. Ulabais. I don't know. Ulabasi. Dogs, fashion. Parties, dancing, the beach. Children, iconic women. Only if they're iconic. If they're not iconic, forget that nonsense. Charity and math. Very, very lovely. Oh wait, I didn't finish her thing. Of the Lux-born upper classes, Hannah is used to living a life of luxury. Absent parents made her crave for attention, though, something she gained from her private tutors and nannies instead. It was never enough, however. She studied hard in order to make her parents proud, going into business so that she could work alongside them. The challenge in her otherwise privileged life was certainly a thrill for her, at the very least. She had many suitors, dating different men and women, but it was through work that she met Luke. It was love at first sight for her. So, dating different men and women kind of fits with... Anyway, I'm not going to go there. Upon her parents' death, Luke proposed to her. I mean, she was no longer a finance manager and moved up to heiress, so why not propose? That was the move that led to the merging of Wright Enterprise and Evans Incorporated and her subsequent retirement. Funny, I wonder what it's like for your family to have a business like that. Their 7-year marriage is strained, but Hannah tries her best to make it work by ignoring how sarcastic he is. Oh, and his racial slurs? Yeah, that happened, didn't it? My gods. Anyway, it is far too easy to get them to pay attention, enraptured. They hang on to my every word and follow my every move. I assume she's talking about these partygoers, I hope. All of it would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. I don't think it's about... It could be about if she had pets. I mean, I know my cats blatantly just stare at me. It's like I just wake up because it feels like something's staring at me and there's a cat in my face just staring at me, watching me sleep. That's why I always close the door to use the bathroom even if I'm the only person here, because cats will just gather and stare at me like, oh my god, what is this human doing? Most are respectful, some are hostile if we are honest, and a few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am...
Kinda right!
There's a moment of agitation as a familiar, but less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course, I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I would greet any good friend. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right. He's wearing a uniform, I'm guessing cop, yeah?
Officer Lee!
Ah.
What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He is more Luke's friend than mine, really, and I am quite sure I only invited his wife. Much like I am only friends with the Chief Inspector because of Luke, Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was an odd sort of friendship where we would have awkward double dates. I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N, I think. I might be wrong. Aside from being Chief Inspector of Luxbourne Police, his wife, Rochelle Lee Nee Vance... What? What's up with that knee? Is it knee as in... very similar to Hannah's own knee? Owns a general electronics company, fridges and freezers mostly.
Oh, I always have time for my favourite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight. I see the husband isn't with you.
The way he stares, the way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. I got the microphone in the way, so it's kinda, I have to look around it. I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemly of our peers. You know the ones. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets, getting too close just because my husband is not here. Just checking out your, degrees. And to think they have the gall to do this at my own party. In my own house, if I might add. But like any high society woman worth her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately.
I don't know if there was much grace in there. But dignity, yes.
Rochelle isn't here?
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor.
Hold on, is that a hint? Is Luke gallivanting about?
The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with a doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
And you're here at a party instead of with her? We make small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Much to my chagrin, I've been extricated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He is a nice enough person, and I adore his wife, who is obviously the brains behind the two. But there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him as much as I want to. He regaled to me tales of the Luxbourne Police Department, a different affair to the usual gossip I am privy to, and though I loathe to admit it, is interesting nonetheless. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to the confidential nature of his work. But oh boy, was I wrong.
So, wearing civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the mutant chasing on foot and screaming about theft. The look on his face was priceless when I parked in the garage.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. He is a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprisingly enough, they've been married for a good 20 years. A lifetime if you compare it to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although my darling did have his moments, like the racial slur, my goodness.
Hey, the wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't.
I don't know what it's like to not work from home.
But a flat in downtown? I suppose if that's what you like.
You know, guessing she's not downtown with a view like that, right?
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife. I wouldn't mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale, or that something mansion. You know the one with all the ghost stories.
All those goat stories. I know what he is talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's...
The Ermagood Mansion?
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her.
Alright.
Not to mention all the expenses a place like that will be a real fixer-upper.
God's heating and air conditioning in a place like that? That's what I liked about my studio apartment. Very, very inexpensive.
You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
Although it was only $200 cheaper than a 2-bedroom apartment.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Ooh. Yay for Bay Area prices, right? Rent.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course. It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
Why does she look like she's got, I don't know, what is going on there with her mouth? Looks a little odd. And her eyes. A little too...
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace. She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card right at... No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? McCullough, Marianne, I believe, yes. But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself. This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
So small. Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for some people. Okay, maybe a lot of the people. But it isn't big enough to have grand parties in. Because, my goodness, with as crowded as this place is, it's horrid. As it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one, and it already feels cramped in here. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. The best place to have a party is where you cannot see any of the partygoers because it's just so big that you never have to meet one of them again. All Luke's words and not mine. Besides, I have been looking for a good anniversary gift. Luke might not like this one. Where is he anyway? October 21st, Friday! Who's this person? Person who stayed for the night after the party? Luke is dressed to the... Excuse me, I bit my tongue. Luke is dressed to the nines, as he usually is, and he looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. His butler and valet wait at his side, just in case he isn't as ready as he looks. Oh sure, that is normal. What is confusing me is the fact that he is on his way out of the penthouse, considering we won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn Tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol.
Hang on, I thought British people pronounced it schedule or something like that.
And 2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place. I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this. This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere.
Business elsewhere with a bottle.
You know how I operate, Hana. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis. And you did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
Of course, a British valet.
Bullocks.
No.
I don't remember doing so.
Not British, German. Excuse me. But really, what is the difference between British and German other than geography? I'm gonna stop now.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
He did. Moaned about me being too loud, but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps that was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me, but...
Whose side are you on?
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house tour of yours a chance. But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff, and you are going to take a cab home.
Why not just take a helicopter? You're asking about a helicopter pad, right?
Are we clear?
This guy seems really abusive, you know? It's just a bit of a husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? I don't think that's quite the same kind of tit for tat. Isn't it? Of all couples have their arguments. Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might not always see eye to eye. Perhaps it has been the years? 7 of them is nothing to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the Triad tasting.
So, who is he gonna punch? Like the valet? Or his wife? Calling it now, he punches someone. Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple disagreements. And I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an 1.5-hour drive.
Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes, but Cardiff.
But the Welsh and their baffling language. Certainly, any problem can be discussed, as long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hana?
Yes, because she's happy that you're being an asshole. Why must he treat me this way? You know, stand up for yourself.
Yes, I am very happy, Luke. Because for once in a very long time, we are doing what I want. I'm ecstatic. Understood?
Ooh. Oh, he likes it. He likes that verbal lashing.
And this would be perfect if you stop acting like a child who needs their nappy changed. We will be leaving after lunch for the Ermengarde mansion. You are going to park your rear in the car and keep mum. And you are going to behave during the tour.
My goodness, he's probably just getting off to this. Needless to say, Luke looks a bit shocked at my little outburst. He probably had a bit of awakening there. Sexual awakening. He opened and closed his mouth a few times, struggling to reply before he crosses his arms to look like, well, like a moping child.
Any more rules for this little excursion of yours, Your Highness?
No wine.
No wine.
Oh my god, such cruelty.
Unacceptable! I am already not allowed to the tasting, and you would deprive me of that simple pleasure?
Do not get between a wino and their wine.
If I see you take one sip today, I will put the stocks under lock and key. Do you understand me?
God, she's the abusive one.
Don't forget the bottles he keeps in his dresser.
Wow, yeah, definitely wino, bordering on alcoholic, I would say.
Whose side are you on?
How many times in one day can you ask that?
As many times as I need you, traitor.
The ride to the mansion is quiet, with Luke having stared out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I am conflicted. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans like that. But by the time we arrive at the mansion and I see his eyes light up in genuine interest, apologizing is the last thing on my mind. Oh, so we're gonna go back over this from their perspective, alright. The whole affair with the Ermengarde mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place had been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period piece. It is tastefully decorated, and with a little bit of love and attention, I'm sure it can be a place Luke and I can call home. Or one of many, right? And the number of other prospective buyers that have come from the powerful and wealthy of Luxborn certainly did not disappoint, marking this estate as prime property. The Lees are amongst the group who went with the Rose Woman, and I saw a few other notable faces, though I did not really feel like mingling. Unfortunately for every one of them, the Wrights are interested in buying. Wow, that was loud. Oh, why is her face purple? What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabelle. What is her problem? Why is her face purple? What is that accent? She's not local. Still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment, she is scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalize the sale. Then she is panicking over some sort of prank letter or another.
Dear me, is Isabelle all right?
It is apparent with the way she shakes and by the pallor of her skin, something has really shaken her up.
Isabella, do you need me to call that ambulance?
I am worried, but it will be best if she is attended to by someone more familiar to her, like her partner. But even then, the girl refuses Rose's offered drink and looks just about ready to make a run for it.
No, I'm just feeling a bit out of it. Excuse me, I'll be back. I just need to catch my breath.
And she does so, just as I predicted, and her partner follows like a concerned mother. There is an awkward air among us as we are left in the wake of whatever that was. The others murmur and gossip with each other, speaking of the poor daft girl and telling the tale of whoever was not audience to the act in the first place. It doesn't take too long for the woman, Rose, to return and pull us aside into the study for what I rightfully assume is damage control. What is this place? Interesting mirror. Rose invites Marianne too, hoping to apologize to her as well. But the woman refuses, saying she is not one of her clients anyway. That leaves myself, Rose, and Luke, the last all too eager to make himself comfortable in a study he's no doubt already claimed as his own. And this is how they arrange that little gathering after hours.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella. She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young, and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head.
Oh yeah, just make it even worse for her. You could have said something else aside from that.
And it must be this terrible heat, too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Are you sure it is wise to just let her go like that? Where is the poor dear? She might get hurt.
She's more likely to hurt somebody else, given what just happened.
I told her to sit down and take a break. Already rang someone to pick her up, too.
That might be for the best, dear. But please, we're here to talk about the mansion, yes? Why, I absolutely adore it. Don't you, Luke? Some of the rooms will certainly have to be repurposed. We want to change the appliances and have Marianne lead on the decor, but the whole thing is just lovely.
I guess. It's certainly a lot roomier than our penthouse.
Exactly. Lots of space for guests, parties, a lot of room for little ones to run around too.
Let's not discuss that right now, Buttercup.
Ooh.
Anyway, I do think it would be a shame to let this mansion slip past us.
But you haven't even finished touring the house.
Well, we like what we've seen.
We like the fact that there's this crowd of other wealthy people, and we want to take this away from them. I am making her job easier for her, am I not? No need for loans or long price negotiations. Except for that's what they want. They want loans. We can just sign a contract and close the deal. Really, you'd think the woman would be more happy about an easy sale. I know how these estate agents worked, how long they had to wait, and how much they had to spend even just for a single sale. Why, she should be jumping for joy by now. I'm sure the commission on this mansion is nothing to sneeze at, even if she has to split it with that Isabel girl.
Do you think we could have horses here?
Yes, those do sound nice, love. Anyway, if anyone else is interested in buying this property, I assure you that I'm able and willing to give a better offer.
It sounds like he more wants horses just to say he has horses rather than to actually take care of them.
A vineyard would be nice. Or maybe
And we do reward our people quite generously, Rose. So if I were you, I would start on that paperwork.
Helicopter pad.
Oh my god, helicopter pad, and he's gonna punch someone for it. I pause, and there's a small moment of complete silence where Rose and I just stare incredulously at Luke. It is an unspoken understanding, a rule between the two of us that we have to put on an act. With our social standing, where image matters, it is also important to avoid making enemies. I am very curious how yelling out helicopter pad is going to make an enemy. And to follow this rule is an easy feat for me. From youth, I have been the well-trained social butterfly, gracious and graceful. Luke, on the other hand...
Oh, wait, what, Luke? No, what?
Go off on him, come on.
Whatever would we need a helipad for?
Oh, yes. Well, he likes to play the fool sometimes, even if he is anything but. As he throws me a wry smile, I shake my head and beckon Rose over. This is to be our home, and therefore is nothing she or anyone else can do to change my mind. Not even helicopter pad can change my mind. This is a place that speaks of power and importance, and at the same time of safety, comfort, and curses. Perhaps we can even have our family here. There is definitely no better gift than this for our special date. Why, everything here is absolutely wonderful. Ah, jeez. That is a very odd painting. Well, except for this ugly painting in the study, I mean. My God, is that person just hideous. Looks like a bad fake of an Edvard Munch painting.
Here's the deal. I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price.
And you get rid of that painting.
If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%.
And give them that painting.
I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price, and we can sign all the paperwork now.
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble.
Oh my god. It's like, fine, I'll sell you the house. Jeez, stop pressuring me.
I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them. And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
Ugh, with that Isabel girl?
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
Oh, the private tour.
All right. Should I let Marianne in, then?
Marianne? Who's Marianne? I don't know this Marianne. I know Mary Ann. Oh, right. She's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? I'll need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
There is a look of apprehension when the other woman enters the study, like it's a trap. Yet, like a professional, I see the moment when she steels herself and masks her worry. Admirable.
We have this project then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand. And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne? I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
Gods. That is quite the jump scare there. A hush falls upon the room at my request.
What painting?
Everyone be quiet. Look at this painting. And lo and behold, the painting is gone. In its place, a mirror stands, which leaves me to look at my own confused expression. Oh, that was the mirror? Ooh, that is creepy.
Odd. Well, no matter. Back to the topic at hand. Marianne, dear, we are simply far too busy to meet up.
Just like that's an everyday occurrence to see some horrid thing in the mirror and then... Well, she does. Never mind. That's cruel. I was gonna say, well, she does look at herself in the mirror. That is cruel. Or perhaps maybe I should free up my schedule.
But I guess we can free up a day to meet with you.
Oh, she likes that. Wait, is that how people think about her? Or is that how she views them? I'm a little confused. So she got a little lippy with Luke and she likes him better? And she changed her schedule and she likes Marianne better? I think it's the other way around. I think it's what these people think of the person selected. Alright, that makes more sense. I guess it makes sense that these people like her better than she likes them better. Okay.
I don't really need another Maudlin Monday reading about Maury anyway. The book club can function without me for one day. What time shall we be seeing each other? How does lunch sound?
Besides, my house has a higher priority over book club. Why, we can hold the next meeting in this place. Surely the beauty and grandeur of it will inspire spirited and lively debates about whether modern-day writers could match up to the classics. I might as well clear up the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs behind this mansion requires of me. Any social activity can be put off until the Ermengarde, or rather, the Wright Mansion's great debut. I'll have my fill of great parties and gatherings, especially when I organize them myself.
That sounds good.
Whoa, full body nod.
Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Particularly of the dungeon.
Breakfast then! It's a date.
I mean, if this place doesn't have a dungeon, I will be very disappointed.
It's really not.
Oh, someone's getting a little shy about the idea of it being a date. Come on, it's a professional date, Mary Ann.
All right, Monday, 10 o'clock sharp. We'll see you then.
Did they already make a pass at her and she turned them down? Actually, Marianne suggested that we meet at 9, but who was even awake at that unholy hour? I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Cardiff. We say our goodbyes, shake hands, and make it clear without outright saying that we now own this place. By the time we left the mansion grounds, sunset is almost upon us.
So, you really want to buy this place then? That's a bit of a big impulse buy, even coming from you. Not that I'm complaining.
See? Sinister. Just sinister. And you know what? The purple tie works, but you gotta reverse these two. I feel elation when I hear those words from him. It's not every day one is able to please someone like Luke. He gives away false flattery to sway those who starve for his attention and approval. But in the privacy of closed doors, he would often express his grievances. He neither censored himself in front of me, nor spared me from his criticism.
You have been saying the penthouse was getting a bit too small for you.
My God, in that elevator, right?
Happy anniversary!
Oh. That time of the year already?
She's gonna expect something. You forgot about it last year, too? I understand that he's a busy man, but...
Is that why you want to buy it?
Yes. You don't like it?
As an anniversary gift, it's crap, but as an impulse buy, it's fine.
I do. But I remember you used to talk about how you wanted to live next to the beach.
Botany Bay, Kent, wherever that is. I remember the sea, water that stretched on for miles and miles as far as the eyes can see. As a kid, I loved our beach trips, swimming all day as much as I could. I'm joking, I know where Kent is, only because I played Crusader Kings 2 and Europa Universalis 4. And 3. 3 was not as good as 4. I was a well-behaved child, and the only time I was ever truly difficult was when I refused to get out of the waters, even when my fingers had gone all wrinkly. But even when they managed to pull out of the water, there was always sandcastles. The day before we were married, I told Luke that I wanted a house on a beach and a dog. And a kid or two. None of those came true. 7 years later, don't let dreams be dreams. Get yourself a dog. And you know what? Just don't take your birth control and you'll have some kids. Joking, that is...
That was a childish dream. Living next to the beach is so impractical if you really think about it.
I don't know. It's not a bad thought to see you in a bathing suit every day.
Maybe another time, love.
Hey, why save bathing suits just for beaches, right?
We still have forever, don't we?
Not with that curse, you don't. He says nothing, only grabbing my hand and holding it tight as we spend the rest of the ride home in silence. I miss the sea. Oh, that was a little odd last thought there. Sick and hovering over the loo at 3 in the morning, the picture I paint right now is hardly glamorous. She is pregnant, right? Yes? Or she had some bad, I don't know, bad truffles. A horribly fishy taste is left in my mouth as I throw up what I had for dinner, and I hate the acrid stench of that fills the lavatory. The burning sensation at the back of my throat is of no help whatsoever. I could feel another wave of nausea come up on me when the door opens.
Hannah, what are you doing so early out of bed?
I'm fine, love. I must have just eaten something bad.
Oh my God, be quieter when you throw up, right? That's all I managed to say before vomiting again into the porcelain throne. Lovely.
Just go back to bed, Luke. I'm going to clean up here.
I refuse to look at him. I don't want him to see me like this. The last time I've had a horrible morning retching into a toilet was during my college years, being the life of the party. Thoughtless and shameless, I had thrown away months to frivolous merriment and pointless hookups. I didn't even retain any of the connections I had made from that time. Sure, they still know of me, and I still know of them, and we still do business from time to time, but it's just so meaningless. But I've lost touch with anyone who I didn't see on a daily basis, as happens with life. I hardly have any of the friends I had when I was still Hannah Evans, teachers, fellow university students, drinking buddies, and old conquests like Jack. Jack.
No, don't touch me, sweetie. It's disgusting.
You know, I know Jack Daniels, that's what it is. Like Jack Daniels, that old conquest. Aw.
I'm disgusting.
Luke sits down next to me on the toilet floor to hold my hair even as I cough up more fish. Jeez. That's why just stay away from fish. He wipes the vomit from the corner of my mouth and just stares at it. Another sexual awakening.
Do I need to fire someone? I don't feel sick.
Why wasn't my fish bad?
Just feeling a bit under the weather, dear. It's been unbearably hot as of late, hasn't it?
And unbearably, pregnant.
I do wish it would rain.
Are you sure it wasn't those sweets? I told you not to eat those sweets.
That's...
Maybe. Well, don't laugh.
Well, I can't help if you make that sort of face.
Oh my god, the face you make before you throw up is just so funny. He starts chuckling, and soon enough he's in a fit of laughter. This scene happening next to a loo filled with sick just makes the whole thing bizarre, and it nearly makes me start giggling as well. I try to stifle it though as I smack him on the shoulder.
I'm not making a face, Luke. Stop laughing. Shut up.
Sorry, but with the way that the scene looks, it's just looks like something else going on. When he would not stop laughing, I let myself go as laughter bubbles from my own throat, and I forget whatever ill feelings plagued me. That's the cure to vomiting. Laughter. We are just husband and wife, laughing together at a funny face, the little things in life. I let myself go because I know that these moments will not last forever. Not with that curse. But if I just know the terrible things that are to come for us, I would have wished with everything I have then and there that the laughter stayed. October 26th, Wednesday.
Hiya! Come on now!
The place is bustling with movers, carrying furnishings here and there, along with several trunks of personal belongings taken from our penthouse. Luke watches them like a hawk, making sure nothing is handled carelessly or gets stolen.
Careful now! I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings. Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
Each one is worth more than your lives combined.
Luke, do the dishwashers go into the kitchen or the butler's pantry?
I don't think that's... What is... That doesn't sound right.
Pantry, Buttercup.
Weird.
Careful, that's Emma. No, you there, put that down. You do not manhandle a Napoleon Abueva.
I can see the exasperation. I have to send the foreman an apologetic glance. Yeah, I hate these micromanaging people too. Even Johannes rolls his eyes as he goes by. Considering Luke is always like this during a project, Johannes and I have gotten used to it. Poor Mary Ann, on the other hand, looks a bit stressed at seeing the gigantic mess before quickly going back to work. Everything just has to be perfect exactly the way he wants it. One little thing out of place, one little thing that didn't fit the image he clearly constructed in his head, and Luke gets bent out of shape.
Sweetie, why don't we go and sort your suits upstairs?
Otherwise, the plebs might touch him.
Let Johannes and Marianne and the foreman deal with the rest of the work.
We have this, Mrs. Wright.
Yes, please do go before a blood vessel bursts. Bloodstains are so troublesome to clean.
That's a face that says he's done it before. Taking him by the hand, I lead him upstairs into our bedroom. This place has been arranged first so that we can get some rest, no matter what state the rest of the mansion is in. I am definitely glad I can just lie down on a soft, comfy bed after what has been a busy morning. Watching Luke act like his life depended on getting this move done is tiring all on its own. And to think I have a whole day of this ahead of me. A whole day of watching other people move stuff, oh my god. I feel the bed dip beside me as Luke sits down with a sigh.
Well, I can't wait for this to be over.
Dealing with incompetent workers, huh?
I don't know. It's fun seeing you all fired up. Here at home and not at work, you know.
What does he even do at work? They're retired, never mind.
You know I can't always be home, Hana. I have a company to run, unless you've forgotten.
Retirement.
I haven't forgotten. You're the one who insists on being there to make sure each and every little thing is under control. I just really miss you sometimes, and I wish you were at home more often. Why, if you're not careful, I might go a bit loopy and I'll start bringing cats home.
Not a bad idea.
And soon enough, one day you'll find yourself going home to a farm just filled with felines that follow you everywhere.
Hey, no mice or birds.
Oh, don't bluff. The things would shred up your precious furniture.
Also very true.
Besides, you don't even like cats.
True. Dogs are infinitely superior, of course.
Oh my god, I have heard enough of this blasphemy.
But what about the wet dog smell? The mess? I'm not cleaning up after a mutt, no matter how cute.
Oh my god, and dog dander. I mean, I like dogs and cats both, but some dogs just have that waxy texture that gets everywhere.
If you think about it, a cat would be better.
Oh, we laugh. It's not always that we can just lie down and talk about these sorts of things. To joke around as if we're teenagers again with very little problem in the way of responsibilities and roles. To hear his genuine, honest-to-goodness laughter is a rarity. This is just the second time as of late, and I can only see it as signs of good things to come.
All good points. I guess we could just have kids. That is, if you prefer dealing with soiled nappies and sick as opposed to dead birds, mice, and litter boxes.
Almost just as bad.
I've already told Marianne about turning the second bedroom into a children's room.
I guess sometimes I don't know when I'm crossing a line. I didn't say that I'm a good comedian, did I?
Not this again.
Oh, he's gonna hit someone.
What? I wasn't being serious.
It's not something you take the piss out of.
One of these days, Hannah. One of these days.
Having a kid is a big responsibility, Hannah.
Oh, he is very serious about that.
We've talked about this, haven't we? We
don't joke about kids.
I'm not ready to be a parent. I'd probably end up killing the little brat by the week's end.
You know, that kind of self-awareness is very admirable. What should I say? You know, I don't think he likes to be apologized.
Kylie likes you well enough.
Oh, yeah, called it. I don't know who Kylie is. Kylie Minogue? The mention of our little goddaughter places a conflicted look on his face. I don't know if I even got that right, Minogue. Did I just make that up? I don't know. Sometimes it is cute when he denies having a soft spot for the little girl. But then, sometimes it's sad, and it makes me wonder what happened to him. He thinks so poorly of himself in this regard. He must do something, right? Guilt? Projection? I don't know.
Yes, well, it's Kylie. The tyke likes everybody and, on the off chance she doesn't, likes them well enough as long as they buy her sweets.
See, kids are great when you don't have to deal with them.
And sure, that kid is great. But if I get tired of her, I can ship her back to her father at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Having kids of our own will be a whole different monster entirely.
That's why you buy a daycare center. I've never heard of him talk about his father in anything but a business context. I recall Damien Wright. Kept hearing about him from my own father even before I met Luke. The business world praised him for running a tight ship, all until one mistake led to a great loss for the Enterprise. It was then that the news of Luke Wright, Prodigy's son and successor to the old man, started to show up, and he aided in its recovery and growth until the Great Recession. I'm getting a bit off track. Regardless, I have never heard him talk about his father like one would talk about family.
I think you'll be a great father.
There's a smile, no matter how half-hearted it may be. I do really think that he might not be good, honest man. A part of me knows that, though I try to silence it. What does that mean? What does that mean? He may not be a good, honest man. A part of me knows that. Is it the hitting or the threats of physical violence by raising that fist? But I know Luke well enough that he will be a better father than either Damien Wright or Henry Evans. I love my father, but he never had the time.
If it is any consolation, I think you'd be a decent mother.
On the other hand, I've never heard of his mother. He doesn't have a mother. That's the secret. He was born in a lab. Explains a lot of things. The silence settles, both comfortable and uncomfortable. Wonder how that works. There is familiarity in each other's company despite the awkwardness that had transpired. Defenses and masks down. Without anybody else looking, we are both together and alone in this quiet. Wow. We are both here, yet not here. But a crash from downstairs startles us both out of our reverie. And I think that's a good place to stop for now. Next time, we'll see what happens with that crash.